Adolf Hitler wanted to totally destroy Christianity in Germany for demonic paganism and kill my people and nation to replace them all with Germans. His war caused the rise of the USSR, Israel, and Zog. So why do you admire and hold in esteem such a man whose soul is burning in hell for eternity?
Some shovel-faced Polak. But what about Poland? What about Poland? What about Poland? Fuck off! God, that's what I had to say about that. What I had to say about that.
All right, so it's time to give Senor Fuentes a little taste of Polish medicine. Now, normally if I was doing this in Polish, I'd just call him a gnoj, a palant, a frajer, but we need to do this in English, okay?
Man, he didn't go hard enough against Poland. Let's just put it that way. But what about Poland? But I'm from Poland and Hitler invaded Poland. Off, dude. Hitler had aura. You know what I have to say about that? Hitler had aura. Aura. Hitler had aura. He was riding down the street like this. And everybody's like, and then he was up there in the giant speech with the banners. He had aura, that's why. Shut up, dude. This is just your ethnic grievance.
I get it, Senor Fuentes. I really, really do. Hitler for you, he's just a bunch of pixels on the screen. He's just another meme. He's something to send to your friends. But for the people of Poland, Senor Fuentes, Hitler isn't just something funny and comedy which you can scroll on your phone and watch. He is the leader and head of an ideology which hated the Poles. And indeed, Senor Fuentes, since you actually come from Mexico, as I understand, Hitler would have hated you too.
This whole Hitler wanted to destroy Christianity, there's some truth behind that. I'm not a Hitler worshiper, I just don't think he was the devil. And look, if you're such an idiot that you can't see what I'm saying about Hitler, about Stalin, about Napoleon, about Caesar, then you're just not white, okay? Then you just don't get it. And by the way, he didn't cause the rise of the Soviet Union, he prevented it. If it wasn't for the Allies, who do you think caused the rise of the who gave the Soviet Union half of Europe? That was us. That was America. That was England. The Soviet Union was going to invade Europe to begin with. It was Hitler that wanted to fight them. Soviet Union had plans to invade all of Europe. And it was Hitler that slowed him down. That's just not even true. Yeah, you're just full of shit on that one, trying to be based. Oh, I'm against Hitler for based reasons. You're against Hitler because you're a fucking provincialist. Okay, it's bigger than that.
In one sense, Senor Fuentes is actually correct here. The Soviet Union was around for a lot longer than Hitler. It came into power well before Hitler started the NSDAP, and it was murdering millions before Hitler came along. What would have happened if the two countries hadn't gone to war in 1941? Psst. They were actually working together. We forgot about that up until 1941. We just don't know. But we do know what actually happened, because I think Senor Fuentes has forgotten a little bit of actual history, the stuff that did happen. He seems to have forgotten that the Soviet Union was bent on taking over Europe and colonizing Europe as well. In fact, they invaded Europe in the 1920s. And do you know who stopped them from conquering Germany and the rest of Europe? It wasn't Britain. It wasn't America. That's right, it was the newly formed nation of Poland, back in power after 123 years of being wiped off the map. That is Polish power, Senor Fuentes. Not bad for provincialists.
I am from Poland.
Tight for this brownoid than
I
someone
screw
even
in
totaled my car
light
today,
bulb.
but screw it.
I shouldn't say that about Polish. Christine from Ohio is Polish. Some of my closest friends are Polish. I love Polish people. But look, Polish people have this bad habit of like hating Hitler, and we're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time, okay? I shouldn't shit on. I love Polish people. Some of my best friends are Polish. I consider Christine one of them. They gotta get over. They gotta let it go. Let it go. Forgive Hitler today. Good night.
Nope. Niet. Nein. It's not okay. And we're not gonna give up dissing on the Germans, Nazis, or Hitler. And you wanna know why, Senor Fuentes? Because of the children. I've met too many grown adults who were children when they had to bury their parents or they lost their entire family. And I've met too many people tell me that story too. Tell Kazimierza Kostevich, who in this picture, Senor Fuentes, is crying over the dead body of her sister Anna, who was killed in September 1939 when she was shot by a German plane at the beginning of that invasion. And America, by the way, was doing nothing. Yeah, tell that to her. Tell her she should stop dissing on Hitler. Or tell it to Vanda Lurie. You can see her in this picture right now. Vanda was taken to a warehouse yard in August 1944 along with her 3 children. And you know what happened to her, Nick? She and her 3 children and thousands of other people were shot down by the Germans and their allies. Now Vanda, who was 9 months pregnant at the time, incredibly survived. And do you know what she had to do, Nick? She had to climb over the dead bodies around her, including her 3 murdered children, with 9 months pregnant, to escape that hellhole. And fortunately, she gave birth to her son Ludwig, who thanked her for the gift of life. Or why don't we tell Leocadia Wysocka? Leocadia was my wife's great aunt. And at the age of 15, along with a dozen of her friends who were serving as teenage nurses during the Warsaw Uprising, she was taken out into the courtyard of the hospital where she'd been serving and was gunned down at 15 years old.
Polish. I'm from Poland and I hate Hitler. I'm from Ireland and I think the Holocaust happened. I'm from Ireland and I'm in favor of Hamas. Hamas is pretty cool, you know? Shut up. I'm from Ireland and I like Yahya Sinwar. All right, lads. Raise up your sticks. Shut up. I'm so sick of, look, bitch. It's Rome, it's empire. We don't need all these fucking colonies. Poland wasn't even a country for 100 years. Ireland was under oppression for 800 years. Now we're going to let the colonies talk about third worldism. You might as well call Hitler a colonist, a colonizer.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was. You know what's interesting about you, Senor Fuentes? The level of your historical ignorance is only matched by your own self-delight. And that really is off the charts.
I like empires. I fuck with Rome. I fuck with Nazi Germany. I fuck with Napoleon and Charlemagne and all of it. I'm not one of these nationalists for all nations, but they partitioned Poland. Yeah, and what about it, okay? I mean, really? Poland's gonna be a powerful country. Good on them. Let it go.
You know what I find most interesting about Senor Nick Fuentes? It's from the psychoanalytic perspective. He's taken his own self-loathing and turned it into a love for his enemy. Because Adolf Hitler would have hated Nick Fuentes and the place he came from and the people he came from too. You know, Senor Fuentes, in that respect, you remind me of someone. Now, I know you know history. You keep telling us you know it so well. You keep talking about it so much. You remind me of the capo. You know what a capo is, of course, don't you, Senor Fuentes? You remind me of the blockade tester. And the capo and the blockade tester were people who were turned against their own people by their enemy. And that's what I see in you. I think the well of your own self-loathing is as deep as it is wide. But the problem is you're turning it on the bravest people I know. People who've been through hell to be here on this planet. People who inspire millions around the world with their story. And people, as you say, who are becoming a power once again. Because Polish people don't take this stuff lying down, Senor Fuentes. Polish people know what freedom means. And they're willing to pay for it. And they know what an enemy sounds like too. So if you were ever to come to this neck of the woods, which I suggest you don't, the last words you might hear when the door starts knocking would be the following. W imieniu Polski Podziemnej.